Beth, Man United, nil. Chelsea, nil. Disappointing draw for you, or a stabilising performance after a good performance against PSG? How do you take that one?
I mean, I'm disappointed. I feel like if you're a United fan after the games that we've had, I know it was only Newcastle, but then that PSG result on the back of that, you've got to be disappointed, especially with City dropping points today. It was like our opportunity to get them 3 points off Chelsea and move further up in the table with the game in hand. And I thought we went into it very negative, no intensity. Both teams were playing were scared of each other in the first half, scared of each other throughout the whole game. And I mean, there wasn't that spark today. There wasn't that click. And yeah, I'm disappointed. I mean, if Maguire, that was so lucky not to be a penalty. And if that would have been a penalty, then we would have been sat here of a 1-0 loss. And the first 3 games at Old Trafford, not even to get a win, it is disappointing.
It is. I mean, you know, with Solskjaer's team selection, a lot was made of that, and it did so well against Newcastle. Obviously, Chelsea are a different proposition. They came with 5 at the back, and there was no space for Dan James early on. He had a tough time. Do you put it down to Solskjaer's tactics, or do you put it down to the team just not stepping up? Like you said, no intensity. How do you see it from Solskjaer's point?
I mean, I think Lampard combated our strengths quite well with his back 5. I thought Thiago Silva had a great game at the back there, but I do think on that game, Chelsea are a very different team to Newcastle. We couldn't utilise Dan James's pace. I mean, he didn't do very well against Newcastle anyway, but he's a one-trick pony itself. The fact that he's starting, I mean, I can't defend Ollie on that front. He shouldn't be starting the game. He was all right. He's a bit slow, though, in the middle. It did seem to change when our subs came on. I mean, Van der Beek must be sat there thinking, what on earth can I do to get into this team? I don't know what's going wrong with him there. I don't know if Ollie just doesn't rate him or what. But yeah, for me, I think the problem is we've got no width. I mean, Teller's not starting. I think he should be starting that game. I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if that's come out. But our fullbacks look like they're scared to take a chance and go forward, and none of them can get a crossing. That's the problem there. It was the positives is the defence was very, very good. Very, very good. It was quite good at the back, and we didn't concede. That's a positive to it. But negatives going forward, it just looked like we didn't have that killer pass, then the killer instinct going forward, and yeah, the passing was just off.
You talk about the subs that came on, and we tried to inject a little bit of energy into it. Cavani come on and looked okay, you know, near post shot that was blocked as well by Thiago Silva. Pogba come on. Do you think it's time now for Ollie to come away from that stabilizing team that I like to call it, like you know, that safe team with your likes of Mata or James or McTominay? Do you think he's proved a point to those players to kind of give them a kick up the backside so they can actually maybe get some form? The likes of a Greenwood, the likes of Pogba, even Van der Beek, even though I know he's not in that crop because he hasn't been starting. But do you think it's time for Solskjaer to come away from that team that he picked today and against Newcastle?
Yeah, in a way, like, I'm not happy like that team was picked because I don't think it was a suitable team to be picked against Chelsea. But I'm glad he has made the big decisions because I feel like the team needed that. I mean, people are saying, oh, the fact Pogba's not starting is a joke and all this. I mean, people remember how badly we were in our couple of opening games. Like, I am glad he's dropped players and I'm glad he's taught them a lesson. But I do think going forward, if we're going to get results, then we're going to have to bring on, I mean, the star players going to have to start like Pogba. I feel like maybe could have started instead of McTominay today. Don't think McTominay did very well at all. I mean, his passing was all over the place. And Van der Beek, I'd love to see him in that team. I mean, what I can gather from today is I think Pogba, Fred and Bruno play really well together in that midfield. When they were all on the pitch together, we seemed that like we were winning the midfield battle more. Before, like, I feel like Chelsea were controlling the midfield a lot more than that. So, yeah, I do hope that he changes it up now going forward. I
mean, look, next up is Arsenal, and the games, some people might banter and say that is easier, but the games don't get easier. A tough run. Next game in the league, should I say, is Arsenal. Tough game against Leipzig next. And look, we know what we're capable of doing, but are you confident about, you know, how everything's going? It's kind of like two decent results, then maybe a bit of a flat line. Are you worried that we can't get some consistency? We're still, I know it's still early doors, but obviously the wrong side of the table with a game in hand. But are you worried that we can't get that consistency? Do you worry that it's a player mentality thing as opposed to away from Ollie just because they can't get the spark?
I've been saying it for quite a while. The problem with this team is we've got star players, but we've not got consistency. Like today, the team shape was quite good, but again, we had to rely on individual brilliance And it didn't come through today. And if that individual brilliance doesn't come through, we don't seem like we can win the games. So that's a part that Ollie really needs to work on. And I am worried, to be fair, going forward. I am worried that we're going to go on this run of like maybe a 1-0 or a draw here, or even possibly losing the games. I mean, Arsenal's going to be a very tough game going forward. But I do think, I mean, you'd look at drawing against Chelsea as a good result, but the way the table is at the moment, it's not a great result, especially when I do think we had the capabilities to beat Chelsea today. So, yeah, I think Ollie's yet to find a team that fully clicks and fully works. Like, he's yet to find his best starting 11 for me. I mean, it is different with each game, and I do think it was quite naive to go with the team that beat Newcastle, considering we were 1-1 against Newcastle until, like, was it the last 20 minutes that were 1-1? Yeah. So I do think some of his decisions can be naive, but I thought it's one of them. If he would have pulled it off today, everyone would have been saying, "Oh, it's a great decision." But I think we went into the game too negative and too naive, definitely.
With Dan James, he's been getting a rough time, and people saying on social media he's not good enough. And I heard some of your frustration at the beginning of the interview about him. I mean, is there any way that he can improve? What do you think the future holds for Dan James?
I mean, he's got something you can't teach. He's got pace. So in that respect, like, that's the positive about him. But the problem with Dan James is every time he gets a ball now, I generally sit there and I think, well, nothing's going to come of this, because when he gets the ball, he either dribbles into somebody and gets tackled, or he makes the wrong pass, or he has a stupid shot that's literally like p-rolling towards the net. It's one of the two. So, I mean, I get the point of having him there for pace and like on the overlap and to put the ball over. But even when he gets the ball, he does nothing with it. So I don't get the point of him. It's like playing with 10 men for me when he's on the left-hand side, especially on that low block Chelsea 5 at the back. I mean, Reece James did a really, really good job of covering that side today, I thought. And I mean, it was obvious in the first 20 minutes that we're getting nowhere with him. I thought when Rashford came out onto the left, it looked more promising, because, I mean, Rashford has to work on his end product a bit as well too, but at least he's got something in his locker. I mean, if Dan James can work on his feet and sort his football intelligence out, there should be a great player in there. But the way he plays at the moment, from what I've seen of him, he wouldn't even start for, like, I don't know, a low team in the league. It's really frustrating when we've got the likes of Van der Beek and Pogba and then you can see Dan James starting again. Yeah, it is really disappointing. I don't see a future for Dan James unless he seriously increases his end product. But then again, he's been given chance after chance after chance, and it's not working out for him. I mean, I feel bad for him. He's only a young lad, and he's making the right runs. He's got a lot of energy, but he's just not got the quality for me.
Is the 0-0 ball fest? I get that, and to be fair, well, Mendy, their keeper, did make a few good saves. To be fair, we could have snatched it in with a Marcus Rashford shot. But who was your man of the match lastly, Beth?
I mean, for me, I'd probably go Lindelof man of the match. There's not much to choose from, but I thought he had a solid performance at the back. He looked promising going forward. So out of the best of a bad bunch, I'd probably go to Lindelof.
Yeah, he tried to make things happen, didn't he?
Yeah.
Beth, I'll see you at the Arsenal game, and hopefully we get a win there.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay, nice one, Beth.
Okay, see you later.